Hello all and welcome to my channel Ravi's IT World. Today we are going to start Linux Unix course, which is an most popular OS used almost in every IT industry. Today's our agenda is we will know some basic information about Linux Unix. Followed by it we will discuss about Linux distributions, then followed by it we will learn about Linux terminal, and at last we will learn what is a console. First of all, Linux is an operating system which is an open source and is supported on several computer platforms and includes multiple software features that can handle computer resources, and it allows us to do tasks. Whereas Unix is a powerful and multitasking operating system that behaves like a bridge between the user and the computer. As a user, we give some commands to the computer. The commands given by the human known language cannot be understood by the computer. So Unix helps computer to convert the human known language into computer known language. Next, we will discuss about Linux distributions. It is an OS which is made from a software collection that is based upon the Linux kernel and often a package management system. Actually, it comprises Linux kernel, GNU shell utilities, and the graphical desktop environment and more. There are hundreds of distributions, each designed for a specific purpose. From those, the most popular Linux distributions are Red Hat, Rocky Linux, Alma Linux. These three powers the servers of the internet, then followed by whereas Ubuntu, Linux Mint and Pop OS are used for laptops and personal computers, while OpenWRT runs on embedded devices like routers. Then last, Raspberry Pi is a system highly optimized for Raspberry Pi devices with ARM CPUs, and ROX is a Linux cluster distribution intended for high performance computing clusters. Here, the distrowatch.com website. In this distrowatch.com website, you can learn more and more about Linux distributions. Here at the right hand corner, you can see there are hundreds of Linux distributions which are present here. Here you can learn about the Linux distributions, and you can refer this distrowatch.com website for learning about more and more about distributions. For industry purpose or for learning, we can use Ubuntu and Red Hat. Most of the banks, telecom and retailers use Red Hat. It is acquired by IBM. Ubuntu is used by startups, small companies, social networks or by cloud-based services, which is absolutely free. Linux is an operating system which is highly oriented towards commands. Even though there are many graphical interfaces available, any effective Linux administrator will prefer running commands for different administration tasks. Next, we will learn about Linux terminal. Actually, what is Linux terminal? Before learning about Linux terminal, you must need to install Ubuntu software in your OS. You can download it by downloading a virtual machine for that, and followed by it you can install the Ubuntu in that. For installing the software, I will provide the link in the comments section, which you can refer for downloading the OS. Once after finishing your download and once you have logged into your Ubuntu, the interface will be shown like this. For giving our commands, we should open the terminal. For opening the terminal, you can go to show applications and you can click on terminal, or you can use the shortcut key Ctrl+Alt+T for opening the terminal. The terminal, we can call the Linux terminal as terminal emulator also, and it is a crucial part of any Linux system because it basically allows you to access the system through a shell. Now you can have the doubt about what is a shell. A shell is a program which takes commands from the user and gives them to the OS kernel to execute. As here I am giving some commands ls or pwd. At present, don't worry about the commands what I am giving here. As the course is going on, you will learn about all the commands. As I entered the command here ls, the shell collects that command and it gives to the OS kernel for executing. As here shown, we can understand what is ls or what is pwd, but computer cannot understand the human known language. So the shell collects that commands which is given by the user and it gives to the OS kernel, and OS kernel helps it to changing the commands into computer known language, and it will be executed. Followed by we can call the shell as a command interpreter also. Actually, the shell gets started when the user logs in or starts the terminal. And main, note this point, Linux is a case sensitive OS. As here you can see, by giving ls in the small letters and giving ls in the capital letters have many difference, has the huge difference. Here in the above command, when I given the ls in the small letters, our command got executed, but when I am giving it in the capital letters, we got an error message called command not found. So when we are typing the commands, we should be careful. That is why Linux is called as case sensitive OS. There are bunch of terminal programs available, but the most used one is the GNOME terminal. The terminal which we are using now to write our commands is called GNOME terminal. It is the default terminal in Ubuntu and also in CentOS. Also, there are several shells available, but the most widely used one is called Bash. The shell which we discussed before is called the bash in the Ubuntu. In Ubuntu, we will have the default location for bash. It is the default location for many Linux distributions including Linux, Mint, Debian and CentOS and Mac OS as well. Other applications beside bash are Bourne shell, C shell, Open shell or Z shell. Next, we will discuss about console. Console is a special sort of terminal that starts if no GUI was installed. Terminal and console both are similar. The one which we used before for writing the commands, that terminal is in a graphical interface, and the console now which we are discussing, it is a text only interface. Most of the modern Linux systems provide more virtual consoles. These virtual consoles can be easily accessed through some key combinations, which we will be knowing in the further videos. That's it. Thank you for today.